Good afternoon. My name is Ivana Kowalikova. I'm an assistant professor and researcher at the Faculty of Social Studies, University of Ostrava in Czech Republic. In the photo on presentation, you can see how our faculty looks like. And unfortunately, I could not come to Dubrovnik personally with my colleague Soňa Kalenda, but I hope that we will see next year. However, I would like to present results of our research, so-called social experiment, which we carry out at our faculty. I will present the results of the project Smart Technologies for Improvement of Quality of Life in Cities in the Region, and which we started in Czech Republic during the pandemic situation. At the beginning of spring 2020. The aim of the social experiment was to prevent digital exclusion in the group that are at most at risk digital exclusion, and these two groups are vulnerable families with children and older people. Digital exclusion means gap between people whom ICT is available and whom ICT is not available. Digital exclusion means that physical unavailability of technology or inability of use this technology. And digital exclusion is close linked to digital literacy. Information and communication technologies, in shortcut ICT, are technologies for communication and work with information in digital form. About our social experiment, how we procedure. In the spring of year 2020, we provided tablets with data to groups, families with children and older people, and we provided tablet with data also social workers and volunteers who were in cooperation with our groups. During this time, we were in regular contact with these two groups, social worker and volunteers too. We were then asked them for cooperation, for changes in their lives, changes in social relationships, changes in some intervention of social workers, and so on. We did some interviews and questionnaires. Results showed that during pandemic situation may deepen digital exclusion and at the same time raise the need for support for digital skills for vulnerable families and their children, especially in connection with problem of online education for children. Support in this area was a great challenge for children, their parents, and social workers too. In socially and economically disadvantaged families, there is often occurrence phenomenon which we can call secondary digital exclusion. Secondary digital exclusion mainly occurs when people have access to technology, but their digital skills are not sufficient. According to social workers, low digital skills is a major barrier for some families, and it requires regular support from social workers. In second group, social experiment with older people, we focused on strengthening social and intergenerational relations, which were limited as a result of pandemic restrictions. A research team provided 13 tablets with data for older people and volunteers. Volunteers helped older people with using tablets, and among volunteers were students from our faculty, as well as older people from University of Third Age, which are member of course using information and communication technologies. This social experiment confirmed that for older people, in support of digital skills, play a key role close person. In our case, it was volunteers. We can say that volunteers and older people agreed that cooperation was very beneficial, not only from educational point of view, but because of social and psychological point of view. We can say that during pandemic situation, tablets increased the well-being of older people. Activities from our social experiment have an impact not only for practice of social work in Czech Republic, but also in education of social workers at our faculty. Based on the knowledge from social experiment, bachelor students are offered optional subject which has name Information and Communication Technology in Social Work. Purpose of this subject is for students to know and understand the role of ICT in social work and in different social services working with various target groups. In our faculty, students have another optional subject which has name Modern Technologies, Innovations and Research in Social Work with seniors or older people. Aim of this subject is provided to students an overview of using modern technologies, smart technologies, and different innovations in practice and in research in social work, and also evaluate their benefits and limits. This subject base of knowledge geronto technology, social gerontology, and social work. Gerontotechnology is an interdisciplinary field that combines knowledge technical and non-technical disciplines in relation to needs of technology for older people. In context in this subject, students will be able to experience problems which are associated with old age. Thanks to Geronto suite, you can see on the picture in presentation. We know that from foreign research that using Geronto suites is possible to better understand physical limitations, old age, and better understand needs of older people. If technologies should lead to better life for older people and quality social services for older people, technologies cannot exist without moderator who should be social worker. And social worker, because of social worker is able to evaluate benefits and limits of these technologies in relation needs of older people. In practice, it could be some application in smartphone, for example, smartwatch for monitoring system, or some navigation system in hospital, or power robot what about talk previous speaker, and so on. In Czech Republic, in higher education, social workers is for social workers is lack support and educate with using smart technologies for seniors. So this is the reason why we created this subject in our faculty. What other activities in the field and science and education of social workers is implemented at our faculty? Our faculty is associated members of European Research Institute for Social Work. In shortcut, it's ERIS. And ERIS is Scientific Research Center. And aim of this cooperation is cooperate with European universities and doing research activities in social work. With cooperation is ERIS, so there are organized also conferences This year will be conference in Paris. Name of this conference is Participation Part to Inclusion. So it could be interesting, and everyone is welcome. Another activity of our faculty is cooperation with ERIS in context ERIS journal. This journal has name Czech and Slovak Social Work, but 2 issues per year are published in English, and from our faculty, mainly doctoral students publish in this journal. This journal is included in Scopus database, and content of this magazine consists of 2 sections. First is academic section, and second is journalist practical section. Purpose of this journal is to contribute, develop social work as a scientific discipline, and get better education in social work. Findings from the research carried out by the Faculty of Social Studies, University of Ostrava, reflect not only bachelor, but also master and doctoral studies. Every year in our faculty, we organize Spring School of Social Work for master and doctoral students, where students have opportunity to present dissertations or diploma theses and receive feedback from their work from prospective professors from different countries and its friendly environment. There is opportunity to have individual consultation on small group consultation with professors. So everyone and your students are welcome for next year for our conference. And for now, it's everything from my side. Thank you for your attention.